Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a hot sec since I have streamed anything because I typically have just been streaming after Chelsea games, feeling a little bit uninspired for content, to be honest with you. So if you have any ideas of things that I could do or that you want to see, please let me know, because Chelsea season definitely is not going as I would hope or want, and so it's really difficult to bring myself to do these. So I don't even know if I should even bother doing these match reviews anymore, to be honest with you, because I just feel like I'm repeating myself so much because we just keep losing. And at this point I don't even know what there is really left to say, because it's kind of like the same old story for Chelsea. Like, control possession, control the game, well, to a point, right? Like, in terms of possession, then concede a silly chance, they go and score, and then we just don't look like getting back into the game. So it's super, super frustrating for us. So hi, Emeka. Thanks for tuning in. Um, Hi, Karthik. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We're already getting some comments in here as well, so definitely make sure to send in any comments, questions that you have, and I'll go through all of them and answer as many as possible. My puppy is just kind of hanging around here. He's tied to me at the hip these days. But let's get into this Chelsea match review, and then I'm also going to touch on City versus Arsenal, because how can I not? So let me share my screen, let me share my window, which is my entire screen. Okay. You should be able to see it. Hopefully you can see it. So first off, I just want to talk about this starting 11, which was here on SofaScore. It says that it's a 3-4-2-1. I read it more as a 3-5-2. But right off the bat, I really don't think that this makes sense. So the midfield or the defensive three, fine, makes sense. Aspie coming in for Reece James, who's been ruled out for the rest of the season. I have to say, on Reece James's injury, he just hasn't been looking himself recently, especially versus Madrid. I noticed it a lot, that he was just so scared to kind of go forward or to sprint or run. Because it just looked like he was afraid of re-injuring himself. So I do think that since Chelsea's season is essentially done, that it just makes sense for him to take the rest of the season and rest. And of course, next season we'll have Malo Gusto as coverage in that area. So the backline makes sense, but then I didn't understand the midfield or the attack, pairing Mateo Kovacic, Enzo, and Conte together. It just seemed like quite a defensive lineup, especially when you need to go get a win. You're at home against Brentford, who going into this game hadn't been in good form either. I think that they had 5 or 6 games where they had not won. Let me just take a look. So yeah, versus Aston Villa, they drew, then lost versus Wolves, lost versus Newcastle, lost versus United, drew versus Brighton, drew versus Leicester. Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games without a win for Brentford going into this match. But they still didn't seem to get out of second gear. So you would think I don't know. I don't think that Raheem Sterling as this lone striker, if you want to call it that, necessarily works. And for me personally, I think that you have to try to play players who are going to be at Chelsea next season. So why not play Mykhailo Mudryk and give him as much time as you possibly can, right? You know that he's going to be at Chelsea next season. Why not play Madueke? Joao Felix, we have loaned him for a ton of money, and now we're not even starting him. I know that he hasn't been the best in his performances, but I just found a lot of this a bit puzzling. Can you share my screen? Can you see my screen? I hope that you can. I'd check the comments, but nobody told me if you can see it. So I hope that you can see my screen. So let's take a look at some statistics here. So Chelsea actually had more expected goals, 1.24, versus Brentford's 1.05. I was honestly a bit surprised to see this. And then expected assists was more of 1.27 to 0.60. 73% possession, which is just insane. 15 shots, 4 shots on target. They only had 1 shot on target, which was the goal, and then they had the obviously own goal. So they somehow had more goals in this match than they did shots on target, which I just find crazy. Another big chance missed for Chelsea. I'm not sure which chance this is talking about. Maybe we can see. Maybe it was one from Aubameyang, perhaps. And yeah, not much else here, to be honest. And just taking a look at the Premier League table now, um, Chelsea, no matter what was going to happen, we're going to stay in 11th, coming out of this match. But we have played 32 games. We're on 39 points. Like literally, have been on 39 points forever. And we're currently 10 points clear of the relegation zone. I've seen a lot of people saying like, "Oh, will Chelsea get relegated?" Like, I really don't think that's possible. I know the run of fixtures that we have coming up, but that would mean like all of these teams as well would need to put together performances to make up the 10 points that Chelsea has. So, like, I honest to God don't think that that's possible. But I do think that given the fixtures that Chelsea have coming up, still have to play United. I think we still have to play Arsenal, maybe City. Let me just look it up so I can be completely sure. No, we have to play Bournemouth first. So we play Arsenal, Bournemouth, Forest, City, United, Newcastle. Um, so really as tough as it gets for Chelsea. And let's take a look maybe at some player statistics. So in the attack, shots on target, Aubameyang, who came on for, I think it was just the 45 minutes. Yeah, he came on for Aspilicueta. Had 2 shots on target, 2 shots off target, and he did have one big chance missed. And with Aubameyang, he kind of just looked like he was what's the word, rusty. um and it makes sense because he hasn't played so much, and that one has been like quite shocking for me, to be honest, because he's somebody that I think you could have been like an Olivier Giroud, and you're not really sure what you're going to get. Maybe you think that he's past it a bit, but then he goes on to like absolutely bang for Chelsea and be like, no, I am still like 1,000% capable, and he hasn't really been giving that opportunity. And it's kind of hard because Chelsea as well haven't been creating so much to be able to give him those opportunities. But you would think like if Chelsea are in need of goals, like maybe they would play a striker. And now I kind of understand. It's like hard because I understand both sides of the argument. Like, well, he's probably not going to stay at Chelsea past this season, so why are we playing him? And well, Chelsea should have been playing him all along, because he's a striker and Chelsea need goals. So I completely understand both sides of it. And so for me, this one is like quite difficult. So he actually had the most shots on target, which is quite shocking. And let's just take a look at the defense. Pinnock for Brentford had the most clearances, then Fofana, Enzo Fernandez. Block shots won by Ben Chilwell, fine. Then interceptions, Chalobah and Janlet, topping here, and tackles by me and N'Golo Kante, Wesley Fofana. Really nothing too shocking. N'Golo Kante with the most key passes with 3. That's quite surprising to me. And then Enzo Fernandez with 2. And Raheem Sterling had 1 big chance created. And I think for me as well, like the frustrating thing is just like the manner in which that we've been conceding. Like Brentford literally didn't have a shot on target. We were basically controlling the game. We concede a corner and then they score from this like random deflection from the corner. And then you just see all of the heads go down and it's like, not again. Like especially since we've been having such trouble scoring. I think since Frank Lampard has taken over, we've conceded 9 goals in 5 games and only scored 1, which is just shocking as well. But you just kind of felt like the second that Chelsea go down, you don't know if like how they're going to be able to get back into the game. So that's like really frustrating. But yeah, a lot of people are saying to sack Lampard or asking if we're going to sack Lampard, like pulling a Spurs and sacking the interim. I personally don't think that this is going to happen. And I also do think that it does seem like Pochettino is going to be appointed as the next Chelsea manager, but I do think that he needs a clean slate. Like, I really just don't want him to be associated with this season in any way, shape, or form. So for me, I would basically rough it out and wait. I don't think that you're sacking Lampard. There's really not much to play for the rest of the season. Just pride at this point, hoping to get a couple of wins or draws, like get past that 40 mark and kind of call it a day. And I think like the thing that you can do for the rest of this season is try to get like a bit of a head start on preseason, and so already start thinking about the players and the formation that maybe you want to play. And obviously Frank isn't going to be playing the formation or anything, but kind of like certain players I think look like or have been rumored to leave Chelsea. So like Pulisic, Ziyech, Kovacic all seem like they might be on their way out. So I would maybe try to focus on playing players that you know are going to be at Chelsea next season to start trying to gain that chemistry already, so that we can at least be like a couple of games ahead. But it doesn't really seem like we're doing that. At least Arsenal lost. Yes. So that is I'm just like looking at the final score. Well, I don't know if it will be final yet, but it's ongoing. It might still be ongoing. Let me check. 90 minutes. So basically done. Whoa, 4-1. They did score a goal. Oh, full time holding. Holland got a goal. Amazing for me, for my fantasy team. I low-key hate when players score and it's not like a goal or an assist from your fantasy team, and it's like, why do I even have these players in my fantasy team? Holland had a freaking brilliant game, 1 goal and 2 assists, and he could have scored like a hat trick in the first half. So for all of you guys who are like Arsenal fans or Man City fans, probably the majority are Chelsea fans, but do you guys think that Arsenal have bottled the league this season now? So just to give you a wait, is this updated? I'm looking at the Premier League table, but this looks it's saying that Man City have only played 31 games, and I thought that this was 32. What? It's 31 games for them? I could have sworn that they had played 32. I guess that this was going to be the 32nd game. I guess not. So basically, Arsenal are still first on 75 points, but City are in second with 73 points, and they have 2 games in hand. So if they win those 2 games in hand, they go 4 points clear at the top of the table. And obviously, this was a massive game, like a 6-pointer for City, because they got the 3 points, but they also prevented Arsenal from getting the 3 points. And I thought that Holland was brilliant in this game. Like, his hold-up play was just immaculate, especially for the first goal, just the strength that he had holding it up, finding De Bruyne, and then De Bruyne, for him to go on and score. Like, the first goal was just absolutely ridiculous. Like, maybe Ramsdale could have gotten a better hand to it, but just the way that he placed it. And then the second goal that he scored as well, like nutmegging the defender. I'm not sure who he nutmegged, but to kind of know like, oh, I'm going to put it through his legs because he's going to try to like stick a foot out and then to slot it in. That was insane as well. So I just like, I don't know. I really feel like the momentum is with City now. I think they're undefeated in like some crazy run of games, like 16 or something. I could totally be making that up, but I think I read that it was like 16 games that they're undefeated. And now Arsenal are really like not in the best of form. So they have 3 draws in a row and 1 loss now. I don't know if this is updated. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 draws and 1 loss. I could have sworn that, I don't know, maybe somebody else check. I'm like refreshing on both my app and the table online, and it says Man City have only played 31, but I could have sworn that they already had that and that this was their 32nd game and that they had 1 game in hand, but maybe they still have the 2. Basically because Arsenal's form isn't updated on my table. So let me know. I don't know what's going on with this. I'm just going through your comments. Holland is beautiful. Hi, Steven. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, remember when we were like debating like who to sign, like Holland or Havertz, and it seemed that we were like close. Well, I don't know if we were ever like actually close to signing Holland, but we were going to try to like break the bank to sign him. But honestly, I don't even know if Holland would be scoring with how we're playing right now. Chuck says, "Hi Elizabeth, hope you're doing okay. This result sucks." Yeah, honestly, it's like kind of sad that I've gotten that I've gotten used to it at this point, and I'm kind of just like not even sad anymore. Like it used to affect me more, but now I'm kind of like, okay, I'll just go to bed after this. 10 points thanks to Tuchel. Yeah, this is insane. Like he was sacked September 7th, I think, and we have 10 points thanks to him, and that was like that's literally the difference between us and relegation right now. Deepest sympathy says, I'm a Chelsea fan. I just have to laugh because I'm actually not angry anymore. No, it's the kind of thing like if I don't laugh, I'll cry. And I'm also just like not even angry anymore. Because what can you do? Like it just feels like the season is over. We just like need a hard reset. We need to shrink the squad down and focus on the players that are going to be there, focus on having a good preseason. Thankfully, as well, it's not all over the entire US, which I think did contribute. So the preseason is just like on the East Coast, basically. So it is still a lot of travel in between cities, but it's very similar to what a lot of other teams are doing. And there's like a Premier League, like championship or something like that. So hopefully it's like not as much travel. It should be like more normalized. Question here. Anything you want to see us try for the next match? Honestly, I think like for me, I would keep the back 5 because I don't think that the back 4 has worked. I think that I would do like an Enzo and Conte partnership. I would bench Kovacic and get another like more attacking minded player on the pitch because I don't really know what he's doing now when you have Enzo who can kind of move the ball forward and pick out passes, and then you have Conte who's more like box to box. I feel like you need somebody who is just like more offensively minded and more attacking minded. So I would probably bring somebody on instead of Kovacic. I would start Mudryk. I would probably start Madueke as well. And then I don't know, like the rest of the attack, I don't really know, and I don't really envy the position of the manager picking the starting 11. Hi, how's it going? So, question from Chucks: what do you think Poch will bring to our team? I'll try to get a video like when it's announced about Pochettino and everything. But I think I really do think like this could be a good appointment for Chelsea from everything that I've been reading. Just like integrating the youth players. He did extremely well at Spurs with the resources that he had, and I think that he knows how to manage a bloated squad and knows how to get the best out of his players. And everybody's saying like, oh well, he didn't win anything with Spurs, but he still got them to like second into a Champions League final, when's the last time Chelsea finished second in the league? Like, I think maybe when we won the league in 16-17. So just to have like somebody who's going to be able to make the tough decisions and be like, okay, this player's staying, this player's going. I really also hope that he can get the best of Mason Mount. Apparently, he's like a massive Mason Mount fan, and so I really hope that that means that Mason will stay. I don't know because the contract situation is like super difficult. But I think I do think that this could be a very good appointment for Chelsea, hopefully. So let's see. Would you prefer if we finish this season with Lamps, or should Poch start straight away? Personally, I hope Poch starts afresh. And then we have another question that's kind of related. That's, do you think Lampard will be sacked? So I don't think Lampard will be sacked. I would be shocked if he was sacked, to be honest with you, just because like I don't really think that there's anything left to play in the season other than pride and like making sure that you don't get relegated, but I don't think that we're going to get relegated. And I would rather for Poch to have a fresh start as well, because I just don't want him associated with like any of the toxicity that's going on in the fan base right now or at the club. And I think that we just need to have like a fresh cut, and that we're going to have that in preseason. So yeah, I don't think like it's worth for him to like get involved in what's going on at the club right now. I see a couple of people agreeing. Yeah, cool. All right, guys, I'm like losing my voice. But I hope that you enjoyed this match review. I'll be back with an FPL video on Friday, and I think that we'll be back with a hangover on Sunday, and I'll try to get a Poch video out whenever that is agreed as well. But yeah, please let me know in the comments, like before I go, are there any videos that you guys want to see? Like I'm kind of like out of inspiration at the moment, so like if you guys have anything that you want to see, please let me know so that I can get working on it. And or just like message me or comment or whatever. So many people are like, Ellie for coach. I couldn't do the job, trust me, but I appreciate it so much. uh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you guys have anything that you want, I'm thinking of like a tier list of like Chelsea players that I think are going to like leave / are safe for the summer. And then like a video on Podge. But anything else, like please let me know. Oh, Chelsea ladies, yes, of course. Maybe I can try to do something for Champions League. But they're like 1-0 down as well. But definitely maybe something for like Champions League or the FA Cup final. Yeah, players on videos you would play video on players I can't speak you would sell by. That's a good one as well. Okay, this is a good one. Lone Army. Okay, I'm gonna like write all of these down. Okay, cool. Thanks guys for the tips. I really appreciate it. Alrighty guys, I hope that you have a great rest of your day, evening, despite the Chelsea loss, whatever time you're watching this. And until next time, I'm out. Bye.